And on. Okay, it seems to be there. And on. Let me see. Ooh, all the girls are here. Oops. Hello, lovely ladies. Come on in, come on in. Just gonna give a few moments for the rest of the girls to come through. Hope everybody's had a beautiful Sunday. Let me just make sure everything's up and running. I hear somebody with some very sad music in the background. Can you go ahead and mute? Making sure my speaker's plugged in so it doesn't run out of battery. Bear with me just a second. Thank you, Lily. Hi. Hello, hello. I'm so happy to be here. Before we get into today's session, I'm going to definitely do a quick prayer invocation, asking God to to take the wheel today, because it's certainly been for me a day of a lot of energy, a lot of releasing, shedding, all the things. And it's like He who strengthens me to come through and be of service to you all and still show up in my power. So grateful for that. But it's not easy when we're doing our own healing. It can be a challenge for sure. So let me go ahead and let's do that really fast as we wait for the other sisters to get in. If anybody else joins in. Perfect. And let me make sure. Okay. So I'm just going to close my eyes. You guys can all join me as well as I do this invocation. Taking a deep breath in, just asking the Creator, God, to come forth, flow through me. I ask to be the vessel, to be the conduit for the message, to receive fully. I ask you to put at ease my physical body, my mind, all of our minds, and allow us to be fully connected, present in this moment in order to receive the message that is going to be shared. May the parts of us that can fully receive it, internalize it, understand it, and who are most willing to be healed in this moment come forth and be present. We thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you, and so be it. So it is. It is done. Perfect. Great. Just one more. Just on time. Hello. Who is that? Mosey. Mosey, I think you're new here. Hi. Hi. Is it your first time in the group? Amazing. Awesome. Well, welcome, welcome. So glad you can make it. Did you hear through Jana's group? Yeah. Oh, cool. Oh, I love Jana. She's amazing. Well, so good to have you. So this is a Reiki share that I do every Sunday, and this series that I'm sharing is about the 12 universal laws. Are you familiar with the laws?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm going to share today about the law of perpetual transmutation and the law of cause and effect. And so we'll just do a little bit of talking into what the laws are, to kind of visualize them in our lives, and then we'll go right into doing like the meditation and Reiki share.
Lovely.
Awesome. So I'll go ahead and put you on mute, and you could just listen, and then I'll unmute later on with an opportunity for anybody to chime in and share. Okay, so the law of perpetual transmutation. This law, it basically states that energy is constantly flowing to you and through you. So it is energy is like the concept of it can never be destroyed, right? It can only be transformed. So energy is never created nor destroyed, just transformed, always moving through our vessels, through our body, and creating the world around us. And so I really love what the book of Getting Rich says about the law. So I'm just going to go ahead and read it. And if you guys haven't read this book before, I certainly recommend it, especially if you're trying to do any type of money manifestation or just like improve yourself in general. But it states, energy from the formless realm is constantly flowing into the material world and taking form. This energy is limitless and inexhaustible. As old forms are exhausted, they give way to new. It forms to emerge from the invisible energy of the universe. So that's the way I see it, is God is everything. God is invisible, and he's also energy, and it's a neutral form. So in other words, how does this show up in our lives? We receive the energy, and then we transform it within our minds. So we receive some type of an inspiration, whether we're impacted by something that we see, or we just have an inspired thought that comes from within, from the soul, and then it is transformed into a thought form. That thought is then anchored into our awareness. It grows, right? Thoughts begin to think themselves and they develop. Then that thought can be also inspire emotion, inspire feelings within the body. It is then anchored into our subconscious. And once it gets into our heart, where it is something that we're perpetuating, and it's like we're breathing life into this energy. And so it must take another form. And it usually does. And so that is what creates our material world, right? Everything that we create in our lives is a result of this process of energy being transmuted and created. And so when you think about this, like how it's played out in history, things like how people learn to fly, how people learn to, what flying was, it was first a thought that was like inspired, a vision that you could create an airplane or some type of vehicle that would be able to propel you in the air and take you far distances. And at some point that was just an inspiration, and then it took form. And so we have this ability. And what this law invites us to do is to be mindful. Be mindful of the thoughts that we're holding within us, because all of them are constantly taking form in the reality that we create. And so that's the first part. And I love that how this perpetual transmutation law also plays into the law of cause and effect. So the law of cause and effect basically states that action and reaction are equal and opposite. When I first read that, it kind of tripped me up for a while, because I'm like, how can something be equal and opposite at the same time? And then I had to put it in like a way that it was like visual for me. So what this law states is that the energy that you hold is basically whatever you are holding within you and you put out into the world is going to be propelled back into you, because action and reaction are equal and opposite. And the way I was able to really grasp this was the idea that if I visualize that I have God standing in front of me, God is energy, and energy is always responsive to my reality, right? And to me. If I were to push God, God would push me back. Not because God is a vengeful God, but because, and it's not good or bad, it's just responding to us at all times. So if I push God, God pushes me back. But if I hug God, God holds me back. And so that's basically everything. Whatever you are putting out, whatever you are creating through the energy that you're holding is going to come back to you tenfold in your reality, or equally. You're putting out tenfold, it's going to come back tenfold. And so again, in terms of vibration, how does this show up in our world? Well, our thoughts, again, they perpetuate a certain vibrational field because our thoughts become our feelings. And all feelings is a conscious awareness of your vibrational state, right? That's how you're going to know whether or not you're vibrating high or low, depending on how you're feeling. And so how can you, notice this? Notice when you're in your feelings. this law really played out for me even just today. I had a lot of moments where I had to notice when I was in my feelings and kind of take a step back and create space so I could change my vibration. But it doesn't, the point is that you're empowered to do this. You're empowered to transmute the energy at any point in time and to change it, right? Because according to the perpetual transmutation, that energy can be transformed at all times. They go hand in hand. And so it invites us to take a step back the next time you're in a bad mood. Because you could have a million reasons, right? There's going to be a million excuses that are very logical and make a lot of sense as to why you're in that bad mood, and you're going to have a ton of arguments for it. But when you grow an awareness of your energy field, then you can create an objective point of view. Even when you are in all those thoughts, you have all those arguments that keep you or propelling that negative energy within you. Even in that moment, you can choose to recognize it and to realize that if in that you're arguing with your spouse, for example, you're arguing with your spouse and you're in that bad mood and you have all those, thoughts, and you think, how dare they do this and this and this to me? We are at cause of this situation. So to stop yourself and to say, I'm actually just getting served exactly what I ordered. And that's the truth, right? So to take a step back and to realize that those bad feelings, that vibrational frequency, to notice it and then to say, okay, what feelings do I want to experience? Because that's literally what I had to do today. I had that moment of density of, I had all the logical, points in mind of what was going to win my argument. But being right wasn't necessarily going to get me to feeling better, right? So I had to stop and ask myself, what is my soul hungry for here? What feeling am I craving? And that's the beautiful thing about working through the heart, guys. It's the ultimate loophole, because God, right? The vibrational frequency of God is love, is that abundance flow of love. And so when we can tune into the heart, it's the fastest way to transmute all the back and forth that's going on here, so that we go straight into the source where all the answers are, the consciousness. Mosey, you were there yesterday, right? A lot of you were there actually for Jana's retreat, where we talked about that wealth consciousness. So that's what we're tapping into. And so, yeah, does anybody have any questions so far about what I've shared? Any feedback, any experience lately of like with these laws or transmuting them or dealing with this stuff? Yeah, Mosey, go ahead. I'm gonna go and unmute you. Ask to unmute. There we go. Yes.
I think people will experience this, but I've got a buddy in my academy, and she's on the screen at the moment, Jade. And bless her. And she's always high vibe and just absolutely like always from the heart and so beautiful. And the world always answers her like that, and it responds in that way. And there was only one time, and I don't mean to throw her under the bus, she won't mind me saying this at all. But last week when having a flat day and feeling really tired. We've had so much like extra information with Shana's retreat. It was meant to be our integration week, and instead we had 3 videos a day and extra stuff. Jade, we were both feeling pretty tired and just like, exhausted. And we were getting up at 5 o'clock to do the first video. And it was just like, she reached out and kind of said, I don't know why, but like the world, like, this, it's responding differently. And I don't know why. And I said, it's because we haven't got our cup full. We're not coming from our hearts because we're exhausted and we've just had so much information. And we just got to stop these 5 o'clock videos and actually do our morning routine and come back to ourselves, and coming from our heart, find us again. And then we can, then the world will shift back around to how we know it to be. Sorry, Jane.
Oh, I love that example. Yes. Like, sometimes it's not even anything drastic or dramatic that happens in a reality other than like, we're tired.
And the
It's been
shop
a lot.
assistants start getting itchy, you know, you just notice it. It's, you know, there's not that high vibration. And yeah, it's just, you notice it in everyone around you where you're just not, you're oblivious to that normally, you know?
Right, right. And that's powerful. Like, kudos to you guys for having like the insight, the self-awareness, because that's all this is self-awareness. And it's like that saying common sense isn't common. Sometimes the self-awareness isn't either. And a lot of people are just like flying off the handles all the time and like really living in this like continuous program, right? But to even have that moment, it's a good thing you guys had each other to be like, we just gotta take a step back. Because I know Jana's retreats, like they kick your ass, like in the best ways, right? In the best ways, but it's a lot of growth, but it is intense. Especially you guys are like super early out there, waking up at all hours of
Yeah.
the day.
Yeah, and it was meant to be our integration week to actually let like the 3
Slow
weeks
down.
before settle. So
Yeah. Oh, Jana is so funny. That's so funny. But it is exactly. So good for you for having the self-awareness. And I want to say too, like on the opposite side of that, for those of us that when this law works in every aspect. So when we're up against something that keeps showing up in our reality like over and over again, it's just an invitation for you to continue using this law, right? Of having the awareness of going back and choosing the better feeling thoughts. Because that's ultimately like I've noticed, especially that today, it's like you do all this personal development work and then you think you're like, you hit a good phase where you're like coasting and you're like, oh, I've hit the next level and I'm feeling great, oh, it's so good and everything's going my way. And then all of a sudden something happens that triggers the ego again and gets you back in the spiral. And then you realize that that energy that you thought had been transmuted is still in some form of density within your body that is still holding space. And in that moment, the more you practice this law, the more you can create an awareness. And it's almost like with each time you release more and more pieces of it. So then the next time that it begins to happen and the trigger, the energy, the thought begins to propel itself, you can get ahead of it before it goes too far, right? Just get ahead of it and keep yourself feeding yourself these things and listening to the body. You know, it's like we're like half gods, right? Because we have this life force that's flowing through us. We have this channel that can tune into that energy. And then we're also so like animalistic in our nature and the way that our bodies just do sometimes. And we can feel like they're running us instead of us running them. And so, but to have grace and that self-awareness continuously to bring yourself back to center forever, for the rest of time, until the day we leave this earth and are transmuted back to energy. That's our contract, what we came here to do. But the beautiful thing about it too, that I really, really love about that perpetual transmutation, is that idea of okay, it becomes solid, it becomes matter. So also, the more you get into those positive states, the more you do that, just the more of that you're going to see in your life. It's the law, right? And I think that that's just like the biggest gift, because it's like these magicians that can transform anything. You just, what do you want? You can have it, you know? So I love that. Michaela, thank you so much for making it. I'm so glad you're here.
I was over at my parents and I was like, okay guys, I gotta run for meditation. I haven't missed one in like what, 5-6 weeks? I was like, I gotta go.
Oh, you're so love that. Well, your energy was missed and I'm so happy you're here. Oh, girls. So anybody else want to share on this? Let me check really fast on the Facebook too, because I know sometimes I get little messages there. Dina said, love this. Okay, great. Yeah. So I know you didn't catch like the first little part where I explained the 2 laws, but the replay is going to be available, Michaela. So you're just in time for the meditation. And so what we want to do today is I want us to begin practicing like transmuting the energy. And I'm sure you guys, some of you are really seasoned in this, some of us maybe not so much. And so just allowing you another opportunity to see what it feels like in your body when you use the energy of perpetual transmutation. And also, like, as you do this, so let's anchor in this shift that we're going to create right now. And I want you to really repeat it to yourself for the rest of the week, kind of hold it like a mantra, and so that we can then see what the effect is of this cause that we're creating, what the effect is going to be in our reality. And I'm really curious to know. Next week we'll revisit. But so for right now, I want you to go ahead and just close your eyes. Close your eyes. Tune into the body and just take a breath. And I'm going to ask you to pull up that belief that has been perpetuating itself and just kind of circling around in your mind and your field, that negative belief that hasn't necessarily been serving you. And I'll be vulnerable and I'll share mine. My belief is that my boyfriend judges me sometimes. So when you have your belief, I want you to just call it out for what it is in its raw form. And when you do that, notice how your body feels. Notice if there's any energy there. Even just if you say it out loud, everybody's muted right now. So if you say it out loud, feel the vibrational frequency of the word as you say it. I'm going to just ask you guys to I appreciate you for vulnerably being in these moments and just recognizing it, and in this work, noticing how, as you said the belief out loud, it took a solid form, shifted in its density. It may have triggered an energy release within you. And so just take a deep breath now. Hold the breath at the top. More sips so your muscles really full of that wonderful prana. And now I want you to push the breath out, and as you do, I want you to like make a noise. So, one more time, deep breath in. And this time, like a cannonball, I want to whoosh the exhale so from your mouth. Once again, deep breath in. And like a cannonball out, push that negative energy out of your field. Good. Through the act of just visualizing yourself moving the energy out of your field through the breath, see how that's already an transmutation. You've changed the form of the belief, a density that was spoken into one that was going away. Now I want you to tune into the opposite of that belief. So what would be the exact opposite? In my case, it would be that my boyfriend accepts me and loves me unconditionally. Once you've anchored and identified that opposite energy, repeat it one more time. Repeat it out loud and say the word in words, or one word, whatever it is. And now feel into the energy that the opposite frequency holds. So feel the sensations in your body. Is it lighter? Is it more embracing? Is it more loving? Is it open? Feel airy. Just breathe that in. Breathe that lovely sensation in. Feel that state within you be activated breath in. Just exhale softly. Just become really aware of yourself in this moment. The softness that you feel. I'm going to go ahead and take us into the meditation. So calling on the ascended beings of light and love to be with us in this moment as they always are. Accepting that we have the power and the ability to tap into the frequency that most serves us at any moment. Declaring now, I declare that I am in my power. And allow us to open up fully. I want you to do this by bringing your hands, your palms facing up, to receive all that is good. All that is good from the world around you. All that is good from your relationships. All that is good from your work. The things that you do in this world, that they may be inspired by this energy of good, heightened in their frequency, because internally you're choosing into this. You're choosing your desire that leads your heart. And upon calling for that love and calling for that divine guidance, upon doing that work, you're choosing. That is enough. That is enough for you to receive everything that you want in this moment. I want you to visualize all that energy that we just created. And I want you to bring it into your hands, into your hand. Bring it into your right hand. And watch it turn from a big field of energy into a little sphere that rests oh so gently in your right hand. Feel all of that energy that is bubbling up within that little ball, and how lovely it is, all that goodness. All of those codes for all of the reality that can be created. All of the potentials, all of the birth and life that is in this little energy ball. And now turn it into a seed. A little seed that has all of the will and the power of goodness. This tiny little package. And all the beautiful things that that seed can be. A tree, a rose, sunflower, nourishment, fruit. Notice how it's always available, that energy, that nourishment, created through the intention of the energy of the creator. Just is. How perfect. I want you to now take that seed, visualize yourself planting it in your heart. lights within you. A beautiful rainbow array of energy, of inspiring thoughts and feelings. And watch as that seed begins to grow in your heart, growing its roots that go deep into your core, deep into your solar plexus, down into your root, down your feet, into the earth, reconnecting to the mother. Watch how the roots and the vines go up past your heart, down your arms, up your neck. Out of your head, a beautiful tree blooms with beautiful fruit, ripe and ready for picking, luscious and healthy and vibrant. Just allow yourself to bask in the abundance of this beautiful energy that you are. This is your nature, your fertile nature. I'm going to call upon the Reiki energy to come forth now. Ascended Reiki masters that came before me, to create a circle around us, as they hold space for us. I ask that the Reiki healers in this collective call forth the Reiki symbols. Igniting the energy of God to come down, pour rain down on us, fertilizing and washing all of our leaves on our trees, cleansing, purifying us, making us even stronger, even more abundant. I invite the Reiki healers to call forth people in your life who you wish to share this nourishment with. You may also call forth the sisters in this circle and send them this vibration of love, so much nourishment, so that they may feel full in this moment. We can beam the energy out to them. Just connect to that for the next few moments. That abundant flow, that fountain of love, the healing that is available, the reintegration with your truth, as you see and witness those people in your life who you are sending this nourishment to, visualize them receiving it, receiving that nourishment. And as they do, their skin brightens and their health is rectified into perfect state. Witness the miracle unfold before your eyes. All because you sent this energy to them and they received it. Because we're always receiving, we're always giving. The perfect cycle. Yourself to stay connected for just another few moments. Breathing and recommitting to that breath and just connecting to this energy. Feeling so whole and complete with each inhale and exhale. Gratitude for the way our body is continuously perpetuating these laws in our favor. Beautiful, and just allow yourself to start slowly coming back into the present awareness, into the vessel. I'm going to ask the Reiki healers to seal off this initiation. And as we do, just witness and close off the intention, but still feel that energy pouring down on us. Always flowing. But we get to witness the work that we've done just now for ourselves, for the world around us, for the people we love. So just holding so much gratitude in your heart, ask everybody to bring their hands up into prayer pose. In the middle of your heart. I want you to now harvest all of that fruit that is on your tree. Harvest all of that nourishment. Put it in your basket. Bring it inward. Because the fuller you are, nourished those in your world will be. That's the law. And so feeling so much gratitude for this that we've received. Allow yourself to just thank the Creator, thank the Ascended Light Beings for being with us today. Thanking them for this beautiful opportunity to share, connect, to receive, to learn, to grow. Anchor in that belief that new belief, that opposite belief that is serving you. Reflect on it now, go back to it. Anchor those words. Anchor those words into your being now. This is the new that you're going to subscribe to. Moving forward, it is the only truth. So just with that clarity in mind, with that clearing of the heart, you give thanks. Just smile upon yourself and allow yourself to connect back into your body, grounded and centered into this moment. You begin to move your hands and your feet. And just breathe and come back into the room. Come back in. Hi, Mom. My mom just came into the chat. Mom, you missed it, but you'll watch the replay, don't worry. I'll send it to you. Oh, ladies, yes. We just got done with the meditation, and how's everybody doing? I'm gonna go ahead and I see Jade over there like, yeah, that was good. That was really good. I liked that a lot. For me, it was like I needed it. I needed to feel full for a little while. Anybody have anything significant come up for them while they were doing the meditation?
So,
go ahead, Michaela.
I definitely felt, I recently went through a breakup, as you know, and there were some limiting beliefs that my partner said as they left that I really needed to just like let go from my soul, like that I'm not worthy of unconditional love. So that's what I was meditating on, and like tears came to my eyes, and it was beautiful, but it was just like so needed that the second like I even thought about it, tears came to my eyes. So this was very soothing for what I needed.
Good. Beautiful. Beautiful. And so what was your opposite belief, if you wouldn't mind sharing?
That I am worthy and deserving, like inherently worthy and deserving of receiving unconditional love and support.
Beautiful. Yes. 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 You are, sister. You absolutely are. And yeah, those things, those daggers can really hurt. You know, it's really hard. I know. But you know your truth. So beautiful. So definitely continue propelling that. Same with everybody. I'm really just driving it home like every day when that thought starts to creep up or anything related to that type of trigger, you know, you can go back to that truth. Lily said, oh, you're glowing and beautiful. Thank you, Lily. And Jade said, unbelievably powerful. Yes, thank you. It was great. It was so beautiful. I really enjoyed it. Lily said, right before you said Reiki healers, let's share with your family, I declared sending it to my family. So grateful. Yes. Good, exactly. So Sarah said journal the entry. I completely agree. So write it out, put it in writing, make an affirmation of it. What I started to do is every time I was doing this type of work and I'm creating like a new belief, I record it. And I have like a page, so like beliefs on love, right? And I record it. Or beliefs on money is one that I worked on recently too. And so like I'll have a few back to back and then I record it and listen to it for 21 days. And that's my mission. It's like to help me reprogram it, because we have to continue revisiting this when we've lived a certain way for so long and believed certain things that just weren't the truth, you know? So for us to invoke something different and change. And then the law of cause and effect, we're going to see it in our reality. And that's the most exciting part of everything. Like, Michaela, honey, you're going to manifest a man that's going to like worship you. Yes. That's so great.
I will say something that I've done in and out of my life is I have like this little list of affirmations, and it's like worthy, loving, deserving. And I'll do it before I start my day. And then at the end of the day, like when I leave my desk. And I've been signing clients lately, and there was like a dry spell, but then I started redoing my affirmations and I started signing clients again. So anyways, that's just my little testimonial to doing it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. For sure. Anything that you're like up against that you're like, I don't know, just keep doing it. It might take a little bit of time, you know, the quantum physics makes it so that, you know, it takes time for these manifestations to come through, but I promise you they will 100%. Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, ladies. I have, one big announcement to make before I get off the call. So the next Reiki share is scheduled as usual. Usually I like look at what my next laws are going to be, but I didn't do that today. So I'll be sharing that with you soon as I look what the next set is. And then, but also I want to invite you all to the master class that I'm going to be having. I know that last week I had mentioned that it was going to be on like taking action, and it's certainly still in that same energy, but I had been kind of playing back and forth as to what I wanted this masterclass to be. And I've been praying on it and asking for God to show me what I need to be of service to. So I finally birthed a really inspired like class that I'm super excited to present to you all. And it's going to be about unlocking your spiritual gifts. And so that's what I'm bringing to you all. And so this is for the person who feels inspired to be a spiritual leader. This doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be, specifically as like a Reiki healer or anything like that. It's more so like, what are your spiritual gifts? How are you meant to show up in the world? And how can you begin to cultivate more of that energy so it shows up for you? So yay, Michaela likes it, great. And Sarah, yes. So I'm going to go ahead and drop the link here. Give me 1 second, actually. So I created a little page for it. I don't know if some of you already joined the page. Where is it? Give me 1 second. I'm gonna look it up because I thought I had brought it up. Let's see here. Landing page. There we go. Okay. Copy. Wait, is that it? Okay, so here's the URL. Now, here's the thing. I had some like hiccups creating the landing page. So when you go to click, what I want you guys to do, if you're interested in joining this class, I'm going to be sending details, information, like recorded audio, meditations, and all this stuff. Like I have a few really cool things planned. However, so when you click the page, it'll tell you what dates it's going to be. It's 18th, 19th, and 20th. And it'll give you a little bit more detail. And then it's also going to tell you more or less what's going to be covered on each day. But also, the point is that when you go to click to give your email, it's going to redirect you to my website because I couldn't get the bot to work. So it'll take you to the first page of my website. Just scroll to the bottom of the page and submit your email there at the very bottom. So that's like the browser window, like the first page that you get to when you click on it. Just scroll down, put your information there, and then that'll put you in the email list. It's going to be directly for this. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have for you girls. I'm so excited to do this. It's going to be so good. And it's like 3 days. It's going to be super magical. I'm calling it all the divine guidance to help me and just serve you guys the best I can. So I love you all. Thank you for joining me. And just copy paste that link so that you don't lose it when we close out. But even if you do lose it, just message me and I'll send it to you. Okay.
Thank you. I'm excited for it. Bye.
Me too. Bye. Let's see. Love you girls. Bye.